see something for you and your family. Make a puppet from things you've got. Scissors and glue, now write the plot. Watch, make, share.
Today on People Behind the Puppets, I have the pleasure of meeting and talking to Chloe Purcell. Chloe has worked with us on numerous productions: Fantastic Mr. Fox, Macbeth, Alice in Wonderland, and many, many more. Hello, Chloe. I'm Angel.
Hello.
Hello. Now tell me, why did you first get into designing and making puppets?
I first designed and made puppets when I was at secondary school. Some artists came to work with us, and I remember making some giant puppets for a pageant, and then I got asked to design and make Punch and Judy glove puppets, and I fell in love with it.
Oh, you mentioned school. I thought that you worked in a school as a puppeteer for 7 years. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, that's true. I did work in a school as a puppeteer in residence for 7 whole years. It was in Thornhill School in Islington, and I worked with year 1, year 3 and year 6. And we designed and made puppets and puppet shows of all different kinds, and we worked with the teachers. So we used the school curriculum, and we used the puppetry project as a way of exploring and learning the school curriculum.
Gosh, so puppets can be useful for learning then?
Absolutely. We did all kinds of things with puppets. We learned about science. We made shadow puppets and learnt about translucency and how shadows are made. We used puppets to explore all different stories and literacy. So they're quite good for helping children to learn how to tell stories and work with stories. So if you can make a puppet show, you know a story really well, then you'll be much better at talking about the story, writing your own stories. Yeah.
Those children must have loved that. So, Chloe, what's your favourite kind of puppet?
It's hard to choose a favourite kind of puppet, but probably the type of puppet that I have worked with the most is shadow puppetry. And I really like the way you can create fantastical worlds with just bits of card and different types of lighting, and you can make really fantastical, amazing, anything you can imagine you can basically make with shadow puppetry, I think.
That's amazing. Let's talk a bit more about shadows later. But now, Chloe, what are 3 things you need to consider when making a puppet?
When you're making a puppet or a puppet show, I think it's really important to think about your audience. You always have to think that you're showing this to someone. So imagining how they're going to be watching it and how they're going to be receiving it and how someone else is going to be understanding it is really important all the way along. I think it's really useful when you're making puppets to have a visual theme going through, and to try and stick to a visual theme. That's something I find really useful. So, if I'm using found objects, I try and stick to using found objects all the way through. Or if I'm illustrating the puppets myself, I try and do all of the drawing myself to make it kind of look like it's got a really strong language of its own.
So you have like a really clear plan?
Yeah, a really clear plan, and having a really clear story and feeling really passionate about the story and knowing what you want to say with your puppet. So knowing what your puppet's going to do and knowing what the puppet's job is really important.
So do you have a puppet with you today that our viewers can make?
I do.
Ooh, can we see it?
Yeah. So my puppet is a shadow puppet, so I'm going to set up a little shadow puppet screen.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn on a light behind here.
Oh,
go. And I have, this is a puppet that I will have made many, many times when I was working in a school. So this is a really good one because it's very simple and you can make it using things that you can probably get hold of very easily or even have in your house already. So this is made using white card and colouring pens and a little bit of cooking oil. So the cooking oil, when you paint it over where you've coloured in with the pens, it makes the card translucent, which means the light shines through it and you can see the colour in the shadows.
I didn't know shadows could have colour.
They can.
Whoa! If you want to make a coloured shadow puppet, you can download the instructions on our website. Oh, Chloe, thank you so much. Everyone's going to have fun making that. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Bye!